Joining us this morning is Democratic Senator Anthony Sykes and Republican Senator Andrew Rice. I believe I have that backwards. Is that right, fellas?
You do have it backwards.
Yeah. I just read what was on the prompter. All right. I know who's who here. Let's begin with you, Senator Sykes. You have voted for this bill as succinctly as you can. Explain why, given the great opposition to it from many angles.
Well, when you say great opposition, I think that's incorrect. You're talking about a veto override being sustained, not just a normal veto override, but a supermajority veto override, 3/4 vote in both houses. So I think there's widespread support for this. There's a small opposition to it. I support it because I think it's a part of making an informed choice. It's part of the pro-life movement here in Oklahoma, and I think something that very much reflects the values of Oklahomans.
Senator Rice, in terms of what you believe Oklahomans believe, where do you feel this bill falls? Is it backed by most Oklahomans in your view, or is it just something important to oppose, even if you are a minority?
I don't know if most of Oklahomans support the bill. I know most Oklahomans are anti-abortion, but I firmly believe that to stop abortions, you have to work on that prior to conception, prior to the woman becoming pregnant. And this doesn't do that. This is, unfortunately, whether it's intended or not, it's just a bill that harasses women, makes them feel guilty about a very, very, very difficult decision that they're coming to with the help of their family and their minister and their doctor. So if we're really serious about reducing abortions, which most of all legislators, myself included, want to do and work together on, we got to work on contraception, sex education, and really preventing unwanted pregnancies, and this bill has nothing to do with that.
Senator Sykes, were you surprised at all how quickly this was taken into the courts?
No, not at all, because this is really round two with this bill. The first time it was ruled unconstitutional was on a I guess what some would call a technicality, but we have the single subject rule in Oklahoma that now that Republicans are in charge of the legislature is being enforced with great prejudice. In the past, you'd see bills with several subjects come through. If they went to court, the challenge was unsuccessful or just wasn't challenged. So that's what happened the first time. So they already had one swing at this ball here, and now they're back. And I wasn't surprised by that the New York group came in so quickly.
Senator Sykes, you believe whatever money is spent in terms of legal challenges is worth it. It's something very important to you. But Senator Rice, it has been brought up, just the economics of this, and the governor is saying it's a losing proposition in the courts and it's all going to cost us a lot of money. I'm talking about the taxpayers.
Yeah, I think that, you know, the constitutional issues on privacy, forcing a medical procedure onto someone. I mean, there's a lot of people who are upset about the federal health care bill in Oklahoma, and now we've got local legislators forcing a very, very intimate type of medical procedure. Again, to remind people, the types of procedures terminating these types of pregnancies happen very early on, and to get a clear ultrasound image, this would have to be an invasive procedure where the instrument would have to be inserted inside of the woman. So forcing this on people is something that goes against our basic civil liberties. Again, we can find common ground across parties on how we prevent unwanted pregnancies and therefore the tragedy of an abortion. And that whether you're pro-choice or pro-life, we can find that common ground. But in my 4 years at the legislature, we're not working on preconception, contraceptive issues and reducing those. We keep on doing things that are meant to harass women and guilt them about these things, but I don't think they've ever really resulted in a reduction of abortions. It just makes it a more painful process for these families that are going through it.
Senators, we have less than a minute left, and I want to ask you this question. You're both men. Do you find it at all, at times, uncomfortable to be deciding issues that, as Senator Rice has said, are really so personal to women? Why do you go ahead with that? Where do you stand?
Well, I will point out the fact here that this was a House bill that I was the Senate author of, and the House author is a woman, Representative Lisa Billy from Purcell. She's a woman, she's a wife, she's a mother. She's who introduced this measure and brought it and stands behind it, and there are several female legislators who voted for it. So this isn't a man-woman issue. This is something, like I said earlier, that's supported by 3/4 of the legislators, both in the House and the Senate, that the people of Oklahoma have elected, and this is a question about the will of the people being upheld, or is it going to be overturned by a judge.
15 seconds left. Go ahead. You can wrap it up, Senator Rice.
Well, no, I mean, I have a lot of concerns about us dictating to women and couples. A lot of these terminated pregnancies are with couples who want their babies, but they have a terrible, problematic problem with the child. The child's going to die after birth. So I don't think that's any of my business, and my job in the legislature is to know where my role is and where it's not, and getting involved in these personal decisions is not my role.
Democratic Senator Andrew Rice, Republican Senator Anthony Sykes, thank you very much for your time today. Good conversation.